Hey, good evening, and welcome back to Pacing the Pension, where I like to discuss what I believe will be my three important spans going into retired life. If you are new here, my name is Jeff, and I already retired from active Army service 7 years ago and been working as a government employee or GS employee ever since. And I've established a 5-year exit strategy to retire. Well, it's less than 5 years now, but when I first started this channel, it was about a 5-year window. The three spans that I believe are important to us is the first one is our lifespan, the quantity of time that we have available after we retire. Second one being the health span, which to me is the quality of that time we have available. And then the last one is our wealth span. How well are we able to enjoy those things that we want to be able to do? I know for those that have been watching, a lot of my videos have been on health span and mostly related on how I increase my health and how I do that through running right now. And I've been on a journey to run my first ever Army 10 miler in October, and then a month later compete in my first ever marathon. The journey is real and it has been fun. So to begin things off, let me give you a week 7 update on the journey to my first marathon. As you can see, week 7, the training plan only called for 30 miles for the week. Broken down into now 5 days out of the 7 days running. We added Wednesdays into the mix now. That Wednesday workout for me was being only 3 miles, the shortest run of the week, but it was probably the one that I struggled with the most, mentally and physically. Some of it was heat and humidity. Other parts of it was work-related stress that I brought into that workout, but the other parts were probably just tired legs from the other days that I've been running and putting some miles on in there also. But altogether, it was the hardest workout I had. The good thing is come Thursday and then even the Saturday workouts were some of my best workouts that I've had to date. I was supposed to get 10 in on Saturday as an example, but the weather was perfect, the body felt good, and I just went with it and ended up getting 15 miles in and still felt good afterwards. That kind of progress helped me mentally know that I'm on pace to finish my first marathon. And that was only the second time I've ever ran 15 miles. Next week, in week 8, we go for the most miles ever with 16 on the docket next Saturday. So the plan called for 30. I ended up with 33 for the week. So I'd say that's a very successful, or 35 for the week. I would say that's a very successful week 7 training plan. So now that I got that out of the way, knowing that physical training will extend my wealth span, financial strategy extends the wealth span. I've been doing some research and looking over my own financial plan and decided to relook at some key areas that have huge impact not only on me but also on my spouse. Looking at my 5-year freedom horizon and the mortgage, the goal has always been to end those 5 years, or these 5 years, being totally debt-free. That means leaving zero consumer debt, which I do pretty good of monthly on making sure I don't have any of that debt moving forward every month. But the one that lingers for me is over the next 4.5 years is that mortgage. And for me, the reason I have a life insurance plan is because of that mortgage that still sits out there. So if something happens to me in the next 4.5 years, she could use that life insurance plan to pay off that mortgage and truly live a life that has no worry about mortgage or how she's going to pay a mortgage and all that and everything. So that's the only reason, one of the reasons why I still have a life insurance plan. As you all know, life insurance exists to replace that income and to clear debt as we pass prematurely. But for some, especially those in my shoes, that failed to get a decent rated long-term life insurance plan prior to retiring from the Army, or others that have also looked at what they have in their life insurance plan, the cost, and see if it is worth everything it is able to be taken care of and how much it's going to cost to be able to do that, sometimes it becomes cost ineffective and you have to figure out a way to become self-insured. For me, the realities of VA disabilities, while it is great that the VA has identified and is assisting me through my disabilities, it now makes it very difficult to get a cost-effective, let me say that again, cost-effective commercial life insurance plan that could replace the Veterans Group Life Insurance Plan, or VGLI for short, and if anything, to be able to offset it if I could get a commercial plan. Bottom line, with the service-connected disabilities that I have, commercial underwriting isn't a cost-effective option. When I was going through my transition out of the Army, I failed to do the research and see then that the VGLI, even though it sounded great and was an easy transition insurance plan when I was in my 40s and even now in my early 50s, the cost associated exponentially grows in every 5 years. And I wish I would have known that when I got ready to retire and before I retired, so I could have got a plan ahead of time before I got my VA disabilities rated and documented. What initially felt like a great plan, when I say I saw my first big increase at 50. I started looking and shopping around then and found that it was not as easy as a military veteran with disabilities to get a commercial plan. If I was to get one, it should have been when I was still serving and before I got my VA disabilities, like I've already mentioned. So while VGLI serves its purpose today and for the next 10 years for me, it will and is a plan that is not cost effective once I get into my 60s and even when I get into my 70s. It gets to where it costs us veterans almost our entire pension that we work so hard on just to have a benefit for the family if and when we pass. The cost curve, the VGLI premiums, they scale up with age brackets. It's like a 5-year age bracket. And as an example, with the VGLI coverage I currently hold that went from 50 to 55, I pay $116 a month, or about $1,400 a year, $1,400 a year for the last 4 years, and even in going into this last year of this 5-year bracket. Come next year, at 55, it jumps up to $200 a month, or $2,400 a year, and over a 5-year period, that's an extra $12,000. Then when at 60, I'm making a conscious effort to where I'm actually going, since I'll be debt free, to include the mortgage being gone, I'm looking to reduce that VGLI coverage in half. But even then, I'm still going to be paying $210 a month, or $2,500 a year, or $12,600 for that 5-year bucket, only to have $250,000 of insurance. The benefit of stepping down at 60, if I was to keep that plan that I had at the full price, from 60 to 64, it would have cost me about $340 a month, or $20,000 over that 5-year period. So in reality, I'm saving myself about $10,000. So that's a pretty big deal for me. So stepping it down at 60, cuts the cost in half while also protecting my transition from working to being retired, and not truly, getting all my benefits yet, because I don't plan on getting Social Security right away, because I won't be 62 when I retire. But then also looking to see if I could pump out that Social Security a little bit further, and then be able to start taking that to be able to make more money there for the wife to be able to have if I should pass away, and use that to help offset some of the money, and let that try to truly be part of my self-insurance plan by pushing my Social Security out and everything like that. So when my wife and I turn 65, we're going to be dropping VGLI completely. By then, we should feel comfortable about how we're doing being self-insured, living off of the assets that we have, our pension, and everything else, not having any debts, and being able to see what our investments are doing and how they're going, and then truly feel like we should be able to be, self-insurable at that point, and not have to worry about paying the next 5-year bucket from 65 to 70, which would just be crazy. That'll be money that I can put into other investments to even help with my self-insurement even more, and even then know that I'm in control of that until I die, versus a company that over time rips off veterans as we age up and become too costly. So let me ask you guys this: if you guys hold a VGLI or a group life insurance plan, or a plan that increases as every 5-year buckets, have you mapped out your own exit date? Are you paying escalating premiums on a policy you won't need once you become debt free? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this exit strategy, or if it is something that you haven't even looked at. Leave me some comments, and I look forward to it. And as always, let's continue to pace this pension.